Hello, hello, hello. This is Gina again. I thought I'd come on and give you a little bit of my story today and tell you how I've got to where I am with my journey with multiple sclerosis. So I was diagnosed with MS, with relapsing remitting MS in 2009 after I'd had a bout of severe numbness that came up through my legs, up to my waist really. It even extended into my hands, making it difficult to hold a pencil or a pen, and I wasn't driving because I couldn't feel my feet properly. However, after I've been through the process of diagnosis, which is not an easy thing to do because the doctors try and fob you off, I had to go there in tears basically and beg for an MRI. The MRI obviously showed something. I saw a different neurologist who was more helpful and pieced together some of the stories that I had on in my past. And one of them was, as well as the numbness I was experiencing in my legs, was a bout of severe double vision a couple of years previous. And well, actually quite a few years previous, but she sort of pieced them together and sent me off to have a lumbar puncture, which if you've ever had one of those is not really much fun. I got up too quickly and was knocked sideways by a really severe headache, but obviously I got past that. But when I eventually received the diagnosis, I was feeling okay. The episode had calmed out. I felt good. I thought maybe it was just stress after all, that's what they were trying to tell me what it was. And then I got the diagnosis of MS. And although my neurologist was kind, what she gave me was that I'd got an incurable disease. She said it was likely to get worse. And she also said I asked the question, what could I do to help myself? There was nothing that I could do. She also said that they didn't at that time give you any medication with regard to anything unless you've had two relapses within a 2-year period. And this was my first known relapse, really. So she sent me away, merry way, carry on with your life, carry on regardless. So I left with the 3 messages: I'd got an incurable disease, likely to get worse, and there was nothing that I can do. And I went home and I did my thing and I carried on. And 6 months later, I had another bout of numbness. So this time I knew what it was. Before, I think the pre-diagnosis was almost more scary than the diagnosis itself, because your brain goes into overdrive. I've got 2 young children, a 2 and a 4-year-old. And my worst case scenario was that I'd got a brain tumour, I'd got 6 months to live, and my boys would grow up without a mum. So that didn't happen. I'm pleased to announce that didn't happen. So MS felt like a better thing than having a brain tumour and 6 months to live, definitely. Especially as when I was given the diagnosis, the symptoms had all but disappeared. And I just thought, well, if I just get a bit of numbness every couple of years, I can live with that. Anyway, 6 months later, when I had another bout of numbness, I spoke to the neurologist again. I got sent a whole load of information about the different kinds of DMTs, the drug modifying therapies that are available. I think at the time it was either on video or DVD. I think it might have even been video. And I must have had about 10 to have a look at. I eventually chose Avonex, which was a weekly injection. And I started on that. And I was on that for about 5 years. And to be honest, it either seemed to be doing its stuff or I wasn't having any relapses anyway. So life was going on okay. I'd got the label of MS, but I wasn't experiencing any symptoms. And I used to call myself an MS fraud, actually, interestingly enough. But around 2015, 2016, I started noticing if I was walking any distance, my right leg would drag a little bit. I used to go running, and running became more tricky as I got tired. My legs would be more likely to trip. So slowly, it wasn't like a big relapse, but slowly little symptoms seemed to be creeping in, which wasn't very nice. And it was around that time, around 2016, that I actually started doing my own research. So I went to Google, as one does, but I asked the questions around who was healed from MS. And to be honest, it doesn't take very long before there's a myriad of people coming up that have been diagnosed with multiple sclerosis and are now living symptom-free without having to take a load of medications. And I came up with Donna Eden, I came up with Terry Walls, I came up with George Jelinek. And I ended up buying George Jelinek's book, or actually I was gifted George Jelinek's book because at the time his non-for-profit organisation, so if you've not come across George Jelinek, definitely worth a read of his book, Overcoming Multiple Sclerosis, which at the time he was giving it for free through his website and his Overcoming MS movement. To be honest, I didn't even read the whole book, but I read enough to get me started. And his story was that he is an Australian doctor who was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis at the age of 42, but he'd witnessed his mother's severe decline with MS, and she eventually took her own life because she was in that much pain, I guess. So he was obviously very frightened, but he was also in a position to do some research. So he started researching and see what he could find out. And what he found out was interesting. So I'll invite you to read the book because, like I said, I'm not the best researcher. I don't know if I did say that, but I'm not the best researcher. I don't fully go into the detail. And as I told you, I didn't even finish the whole book. But what I read enough to get me inspired and to get me started. So what he was suggesting, that it's through our diet and lifestyle we can manage the symptoms of multiple sclerosis. So I was already a reasonably healthy eater, I would say, but overnight I became a fish-eating vegan. I gave up dairy, I gave up meat totally. I wasn't a massive meat eater anyway, but I gave it up totally. And embarked on this diet. I upped my exercise. I was already doing some exercise, but I made that more of a priority. And I took up meditation. And interestingly, out of the three, taking up meditation was probably the hardest thing to do. But it has now become a daily practice. And I think it's through that meditation that's helping me on this spiritual journey that I now find myself upon. So that was the start of my self-healing, really. I was on this diet very strictly for about 18 months and I lost weight. I felt really healthy. I felt energized, but sadly my symptoms were progressing. They were getting worse. So I went back to the doctors and the doctors wanted to put me on stronger medication. Apparently Evanex is quite a not very strong one. And at that point, because I'd started on this meditation journey, I was starting to learn, and I'd been looking up about these people that were living symptom-free without having to take medication, and I was learning about the various different theories of the root causes for MS, and also how diet and lifestyle can change, also about toxins, also about the mind-body connection. So all of these things I was learning about, and I didn't want to take any stronger medication. What they were offering me was, I think it was something beginning with G, which was moving from an injection to a daily tablet, which you think might be easier, but I've always had a bit of a problem with taking tablets, if I'm honest with you. And I just didn't want to. At that time, I was going through what I now look back at and call my vortex of shit. There was a lot of things going on. This was about 2017. I was deeply unhappy at work. I was deeply unhappy in my relationship. My dad was dying. Our money situation was pretty horrific. We were getting evicted from a house because we were in a rental and they wanted to sell the house. There was a lot of life stuff going on. So it wasn't really surprising that my MS then took a bit of a flare up, and I was swimming one evening, and literally halfway through a length I was going fine through the pool, and the next thing is I can hardly move my legs. I managed to get myself home, and our drive going up up the drive was a bit of a slope on the drive, and I was literally dragging my legs up there to get into the house. So it felt really quite severe. And it was that time, I think, I just recognised that I really wasn't happy with a lot of aspects in my life. It was that time that I took to Google, just scouring through Facebook, not knowing really what I was looking for, when I came across an ad saying, "What are your limiting beliefs?" I didn't know what a limiting belief was, but I felt that I had some. So I took part in this online quiz, which then led to me buying an online program. It was the first online program that I ever bought. Didn't really know what I was buying. Cost me more money than I had, but I did it anyway. And it ended up teaching me about the law of attraction. And something about it really resonated with me. The whole idea that we can create our own reality. We are vibrational beings, that we're all energy. It all resonated with me. I felt vibrationally aligned. I didn't know that's what I was feeling, but I was feeling that. And I started on this course, which really started off, the first week was just go through a gratitude practice. The second week was do random acts of kindness and start watching things that were more positive. And I could feel my energy changing. I'd gone from being in a place where I was really quite miserable and what's the word? When I look at other people, and I would feel jealous. I'd feel jealous that people that were doing things to their house, well, at least they've got a house. I haven't even got a house. We're losing our house, and I don't know what's going to happen in our relationship. Everything's bad and everything's going wrong. So slowly through that time, my vibration started to change. And part of my journey was visualizing my future. And I had a lot of resistance around doing that, because what's the point of imagining something that's never going to happen anyway? But then I just had to play with it. And I had a bit of a vision where I was standing on stages, I was talking, I was living in a property by a lake. I was connecting with amazing humans that were all doing things to change the world in some way. And I knew I wanted to help and inspire. I didn't have any idea how I was going to do that, but that's what came out of this course, this intention to help and inspire others and somehow get paid for it. So that was about 9 years ago. And I would love to tell you now that my healing journey and my entrepreneurial journey has been a steady incline to success. It really hasn't. It really hasn't. So at the moment, I'm not taking any medication, which I'm proud about and I'm happy about. But my spasticity and my legs are really challenged. I'm outside at the moment, but it took a supreme effort to get outside here. And I'm reliant on, I need support both sides of me. If I can move about, I can move about, but it is with great effort. So I use a mobility scooter most of the time if I'm going any distances, which is just amazing. And financially, my business is not that an amazing success as I would have liked it to be. I help people in various different ways. I coach them. I can coach you on getting clear on what you want in life. I can help you get more confident in your speaking, in your articulation, and also more confident in your decision making, because when we get diagnosed with a chronic illness, certainly that was my thing, making a decision to whether to stay on meds, to come off meds, to take that med is hard. It all feels so serious. and I wasn't very good at decision making. And this 9 years has been a process of trusting myself, really. Trusting myself, and also trusting that where I am right now, even if it's not where I want it to be, is exactly where it's meant to be. And I'm 100% okay with that, and I'm accepting of that. And the spiritual journey that it's took me on is learning what I believe the world is about, and how I think we've got here, what it means to me, and also that I believe that we're all here for a purpose. And at a soul level, I'm here to learn through the challenges that my body is giving me right now. And that in itself is helping elevate where I'm at. So even though I'm currently still reliant on benefits, I'm in the UK, still reliant on a mobility scooter to get about, I'm living a pretty good life. I do things every day that fill me up, that light me up, and I want to share that. I'm called to share that. That's what I'm here on TikTok, and I'm going to share this out with other people as well, just to explain my story a little bit. I have tried lots of things on my journey because deep down, in reality, I don't want to. Hi, you can thank me. I'm sorry, somebody sent me a message and I don't understand. Abraham, thank you. You can thank them for the support and invite them to join your fan club. I can have a fan club by sending a heart me to your live. So if you want to send me a heart, I can invite you to a fan club, apparently. Not sure how to do that. Pretty new on TikTok, so I'm still learning all of this stuff. But I just wanted to share with you a little bit of where I'm at now and some of the things that I've tried. I've tried various different patches. I've tried different diets. I've changed my diet over the years from one to the other. I don't know whether that's helpful or not. But my aim really is to enjoy life as much as possible, even if I can't walk very well and even if I don't have very much money, and make the most out of everything, because I'm still alive. I still feel good. I still feel energized. I get to sit in the garden on a Sunday and talk to you guys, which is really incredible. And I eat great food. I've come up with a little acronym that helps, which I've shared on previous lives. So I'll run that through quickly with you because it just helps me stay grounded, but also helps my emotional state be more elevated. So that is Blignite. B is for breath, which is just really allowing your focus to go on your breath and noticing how it slows down as soon as you notice it. L is for love. It's 2 L's. L is for love. Put your hand over your heart, notice your heart, and ask yourself the question, what do I love? And allow whatever to come in. And allow those loving feelings to vibrate through your body. The second L is for laughter, which comes from the principles of laughter yoga, which just encourages us to laugh anyway because it's good for our soul. I is for intention. What do we want the next segment of our life to be? Full of love, full of presence. And that's been my intention more and more, to be present where I am right now. Just to notice in this moment, I am safe. All is well. Everything is working out for my highest good. So my intention is to be present and to enjoy. G is for gratitude. What are you grateful for right now? Grateful for you. I'm grateful for the sun trying to shine through. I'm even grateful for my date cancelling on me so I get to sit in the garden. Not totally grateful for that, really. But yeah, I'm grateful for the time, and I'm grateful he told me. A bit disappointing, but never mind. I'm grateful I've got a garden. I'm grateful I've got peace. I'm grateful I've got good food to eat. I'm grateful I've got a home. Lots to be grateful for. G is for gratitude. N is for nature. And at the moment we're at the spring equinox weekend. We're at that equal time of day and night. And nature is just working its magic in spring, isn't it? Thank you for the hearts. Appreciate that. Flowers are growing, the birds are singing, trees are starting to colour in. It's lovely. N is for nature. The second I is for what you ingest, whether that's your food, your drink, or what you ingest, what you're ingesting into using social media or screens. Just be more mindful. Just notice what you're putting into your body and encourage it to be as healthy and as wholesome as it can possibly be. T is for what you tell yourself. And I've already gone through a couple of affirmations I use. I am safe. All is well. Everything is working out for my highest good. And also when I eat, just tell my body what I want it to do. Eat this. Take from it what you need. Take the nutrients, take all the goodness, and eliminate anything that you don't. So tell your body what you want it to do. Tell my body, I want you to heal. Healing is within your grasp. Talk to your body with love and talk to yourself with love. Just notice that inner dialogue. So T is what you tell yourself. And E is just to remind yourself to enjoy anyway. So we have blig night, breath, love, laughter, intention, gratitude, nature, what you ingest, what you tell yourself, and just to enjoy. And then I've got a little song. Thank you, Jojo, for the loves. I really appreciate that. And the song just makes me feel better. And I hum it to myself when I'm in the shower, as I'm cleaning my teeth. And it's a reminder that we can have control over how we feel and what we feel. So I'm going to sing. I'm not the best singer in the world, but I love it. Blig night, my happy, blig night, the happy in me, BLIGNITE, blig night, the happy in me. I fill my world with wonder and every day with glee, BLIGNITE, blig night, the happy in me. Breathe deep and consciously. Love and laugh just 'cause you can. Intend to be happy, intend to be grateful too. Get out in nature and ingest wonderful food. Tell myself all's well and remind myself to say everything's happening for me. I'm enjoying what's coming my way. So blig night, my happy, blig night, the happy in me, BLIGNITE, blig night, the happy in me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And if anybody would like to have a little coaching chat with me and see how that can, coaching conversations with Gina, how that can improve your life and move you towards the direction that you want to be going, rather than the direction that your automatic nervous system is taking you, then I'm currently offering sessions for £66 a session, which is pretty damn reasonable. You get an hour of my time, you get a Zoom conversation, you get the recording, and you get hope for the future. Right, well, thank you all for listening. Thank you so much, Jojo, for all the loves. I really appreciate those hearts. And I will see you again very soon.